There's a ton of buzz around Michigan football right now, understandably so. The Wolverines are coming off a huge win on the road at their biggest rivals, and it's arguably the biggest win by any team in college football so far this season. But the news has not all been good lately. Ian Rappaport tweeted that Blake Corum is having season-ending knee surgery, and that was quite the gut punch to Michigan football and to Michigan fans everywhere. Most of us were hopeful that maybe Corum would sit out for the Big Ten championship game and then be back in time for the playoff. But it looks like Blake's season is over. Blake, we hope that you get well soon. So Michigan's going to have to get the job done without the Heisman candidate running back. And from what we saw last week, it just might be possible to win the whole damn thing even without him. Donovan Edwards had the game of his career, and there's a lot of talent on the roster at running back. I definitely expect to see more of Khalil Mullings in the backfield as well. Here's some good news. It looks like star tight end Eric All will be back next year. He posted this on Instagram. It says, "Fin to be back on the field better than ever." Cade McNamara, who was the starter last season, entered the transfer portal, and he's found a new home with the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think I speak for most Michigan fans when I say thank you, Cade, for what you did for the team last year, for winning the Big Ten championship and getting Michigan football back where it's supposed to be. As expected, many members of the 2022 Michigan Wolverines were recipients of Big Ten awards and honors, including Blake Corum, who won Big Ten Running Back of the Year, Jim Harbaugh, Big Ten Coach of the Year, Mike Morris, Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year, and Jake Moody won Big Ten Kicker of the Year. Wolverines to make the first team All-Big Ten offensive team are Blake Corum, Olu Olawatimi, Trevor Keegan, and Zach Zinter. Second team include J.J. McCarthy and Ryan Hayes. Third team include Ronnie Bell and Luke Schoonmaker. On the defensive side, first team include Mike Morris and Mozzie Smith. Second team includes Junior Colson and DJ Turner. And third team includes Mike Barrett. More stuff on the bad news front. Some news broke about Mozzie Smith and a felony gun charge. His attorney said Smith was in the process of getting his concealed carry permit when he was pulled over. So Mozzie Smith can travel with the team to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game on Saturday on a personal recognizance bond. Athletic Director Ward Manuel said in a statement that Mozzie Smith is honest, forthcoming, and cooperative from the very beginning and is not suspended from the team at this time. He is not and never has been considered a threat to the university or community. Based on the information communicated to us, we will continue to allow the judicial process to play out. Mozzie will continue to participate as a member of the team. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Maze Out membership in the description below, or by buying some Michigan gear from the links in the description. How good does it feel to say that Michigan is in the Big Ten championship the second year in a row? This time they're taking on Purdue, and Michigan just announced that they're wearing the all-blue unis. So before that, I was going to give Purdue a chance to win, but now, sorry Purdue. I'm just kidding. Purdue never had a chance in this game. Purdue went 8-4 this year. At a certain point, it looked like there was no way they were going to win the West. They were sitting at 5-4. With losses to Penn State, Syracuse, Wisconsin, and Illinois, victories over Indiana State, FAU, Minnesota, Maryland, and Nebraska. But then they finished with 3 straight wins over Illinois, Northwestern, and Indiana to finish the season, while other members in the West faltered. And here we are. Michigan is 45-14 all-time against Purdue. They've won 4 in a row and 8 out of the last 10. This is only going to be the third matchup between these two teams in the last decade. It's kind of crazy. The last meeting was in 2017. Michigan fans will remember this one as the John O'Korn game. Here's how the teams match up. Michigan averages 459 yards of total offense per game. That's 24th in the country, to Purdue's 407, which is 52nd. Michigan averages 245 yards rushing per game, 5th in the nation. Purdue just 126, that's 97th overall. Michigan averages 215 passing yards per game, that's 91st. And Purdue is 21st with 281 yards per game, but they have the 6th most passing attempts in college football. The Wolverines average nearly 40 points a game, 39.8, that's good for 7th, and Purdue is 28.6 points per game, 66th. Defensively, Michigan is 2nd overall, only giving up 262 yards per game. Purdue is at 33rd with 347. Michigan is 3rd overall with 85 rushing yards per game allowed. Purdue 37th at 129, and Michigan ranks 11th in passing yards allowed, 177, to Purdue's 218, which is 59th. Scoring defense, Michigan is elite there too, 3rd in points per game allowed at 12.67 to Purdue's 23.08, which is 41st. Some notes from mgoblue.com. Michigan is 12-0 for the first time under head coach Jim Harbaugh. Michigan has won more games over the last 2 seasons than any 2-year stretch in school history at 24. With a victory over Purdue, Michigan would capture its league-leading 44th Big Ten championship. Michigan and South Carolina are the only teams in the nation to have 2 wins against opponents ranked currently in the AP Top 10. The Wolverines are seeking their first back-to-back Big Ten title since 2003 and 2004. Here's a cool stat. Thanks to Ohio State, Donovan Edwards leads the nation in yards per carry, 7.47, 687 yards on 92 carries. He is an explosive play machine with 4 career touchdown runs of 50-plus yards, including those 2 in Columbus last weekend. Plus, he had his 1 touchdown pass in last year's Big Ten championship game and 1 long touchdown catch of 70-plus yards in the game against Maryland last season. Defensive back Rod Moore leads the team in turnovers. 7 different Wolverines have at least 1 pick, and 17 different players have at least 1 pass breakup. We know that Purdue loves to play the spoiler. I mean, they call them the spoiler makers, for God's sake. Since the AP poll began in 1936, no unranked team has been more successful against the highest ranked teams in the country. The Boilermakers have 9 wins against AP number 1 or number 2 teams as an unranked squad, 4 more than any other program in the poll era. No Big Ten West team has won the Big Ten championship game yet. Will Purdue be that team? From MaizenBrew.com, the Boilermakers are led by running back Devin Mockabee, who averages 5.1 yards per carry and has 8 touchdowns on the year, and wideout Charlie Jones, a big play threat with 12 scores this season. As talented as these players are, the offense as a whole has been pretty limited, sitting just 50th per SP+. There have been very few explosive plays this season, but a decent number of sacks allowed by the line, making this a terrible matchup for the Boilermakers. If Michigan plays anything close to how it did last weekend, Purdue may struggle reaching double digits. Jim Harbaugh told John Jansen on Inside Michigan Football that his team must follow the first rule of champions. It's not even a principle. It's the first rule of champions. Do not let up. You got to follow that rule number 1. Jim Harbaugh gave a lot of credit to Jeff Brom and Purdue. We've been watching them, and we haven't played them since 2017, but we watched them either on TV or we watched them in the film exchange. They've beaten a lot of good teams, a lot of really good football teams in the Jeff Brom era. And we have seen them all, and we have watched them all. And we know we have to be really prepared. And Jeff Brom said, you can't be in awe, you can't lose confidence, you can't listen to what everyone says and writes, which may be accurate. You've got to believe on any given day, if you prepare right and you play aggressive, not timid, not to keep the game close, but aggressive, that you can have a chance. The 2 main things that I want from this game, a win and nobody else gets hurt. With Blake Corum out for the season, Michigan can't expect to win the national championship with any more key injuries. Also, I would love to see J.J. McCarthy build on the confidence of the passing game from last week. Michigan is favored by 16.5 points in this game, and the team is clicking at the right time. Honestly, I expect a blowout similar to last year's Big Ten championship game. Purdue throws the ball a lot, but Michigan's secondary has been playing incredibly well. I don't think Purdue can run the ball on Michigan, and I don't think they can stop Michigan's run game for long. The Wolverines have proven that they're a second-half team that just wears people down, and I think that this game's going to be much of the same. I'll go Michigan 41, Purdue 14. Make sure to check out the Michigan-Ohio State recap video that I did, because who doesn't want to relive that game? And as always, go blue.